Hey everybody, Johnny Corbin Brarman. Um, let's learn a new song. Let's do You Are the Sunshine of My Life by Stevie Wonder. And I got to tell you, I'm really excited and I'm still getting used to this guitar again. It's been out of commission for about a month and a half. I just got the Guild DeArmond 1963 Guild DeArmond pickup back from Tom Brantley Rewinds down in North Carolina. Did a fantastic job. It was just time for this pickup to go. And I sent it down to Tom and he rewound it. He also converted my volume control that's on the pickguard here, converted that into a tone control for me, which I've wanted to have that on this guitar for 30 years, something like that. Anyway, back in commission and trying to get used to this guitar again. And I love this thing. That's in my Corbin flat top and the Guild A350 here. Two of my favorites. So, You Are the Sunshine of My Life. The first thing we have to do is you have to know the melody. And that has finally been pounded in my head from people like Jimmy Bruno, Herb Ellis, Oscar Peterson, Joe Pass, jazz guys that do a lot of improvising. And when you listen to a Jimmy Bruno tune, the guy's just blazing. I mean, he's the Tommy Emmanuel of jazz. And the melody never leaves sight. That's what I really like about Bruno's playing, is that he can be doing these blazing licks. I can't begin to do them. And but the melody, he pulls it right back. And I have to say, really, all those guys, Joe Pass, Herb Ellis, they improvise and they play around with it, but the melody still stands out there. So we have to learn the melody. The melody to this song is really easy. I think everybody knows that, and it's easy enough to hum or sing or pick out on the guitar, which you have to be able to do that. Right? So once you got that down, that's the first part, first 4 bars. And we're just going to do 8 bars tonight. So the second part of it, so the first 8 bars are this. Now I hear another note. Okay. So the goal is to keep that melody going around the chords. The chords are really simple. It's a C chord. You can already start to hear the melody's right there. Then they go to a G chord, and it's really a G7. They put this low F note down here on the 6th string. It's a nice sounding chord. So it's G with an F or G7. I could play the G7 here, put the G there if I wanted, or still put the low F there, to an E minor chord. Right? So the first 3 chords are really just the first 3 chords of the diatonic scale in C. Try to stay away from all that jazz talk. It's just the first 3 chords of Do, Re, Mi. C, D minor, E minor. So I can take that G with an F and convert it to a D minor chord. It's close enough, so it's You are the sunshine of my life. Right? C, Do, Re, Mi. Okay? So C, G with an F, or you can play a D minor, to E minor. You can play E minor 7, nicer if you want. Then it goes to an A7 chord, regular dominant A7. Then it goes to that F, half of an F chord, or 2/3 of an F chord, D minor 7. 4th string is D, A, C, and F, D minor 7. Everybody hates that chord. To a G chord, to a C chord. Then it does that thing you hear on the internet all the time. 2-5-1, D minor 7, G, C. So D minor, G, C. It's a standard, what they call a turnaround. So we do, you are the sunshine of my life. E minor, A7, D minor 7, G7, C, D minor 7, G, C, starts over, C chord, G with the F, if you want to play what's actually written, E minor, that's nice because it moves the bass down, A, 7th, D minor 7, G, C, and then the turnaround, D minor 7, G, C. Now I use my fingers to play a lot of stuff like this, and you hear a lot of people talking about shell chords on all these videos, and I never knew what shell chords were until I started watching YouTube. And then I was watching these guys play all these chords, and there are advantages to what they're doing. I cheat. You know, when I want to play just a part of the chord, I use my right hand to search out the notes. I just played the same chord there and had all kinds of different sounds. Right? So I'm just using the right hand to find those shell chords or chord voicings. I don't necessarily recommend it. If it works for you, it works for you. It works for me. But and I also still watch them, and I, copy their chords down and work on those fingerings. And oftentimes when I do, I find out I'm playing exactly the same thing. I'm just approaching it different because I'm using my right hand to strike those particular strings. So a lot of conversation there. Let's get back to the song. You Are the Sunshine of My Life. We got the melody, right? And we got the chords. Right? So then, to break this up and make it a little more interesting, we have to start incorporating the melody with the chords. Now what I do here, I change the chord around. I use that G with the F bass. I want to keep the F bass because that's really important. So I go to an F chord, this guy, but I don't play, and I don't play F major 7, I don't play the first string, but I come up over the top and I grab that F bass note and that F chord. So I have this. Here's the melody. E minor. Okay, so it's all lying right there. I'm going to play this in multiple places. So here's the C. And F sixth is what this chord really is. I'm adding a D note here, and I'm grabbing this bass note. That bass note is what I could play this one, but I really want that low bass note. E minor to A7. Now, to me, I hear this. I add an F note to the A7 chord to an E note. So A7, add the F note to an E note. So it gives me this. C, F sixth with the bass. Right? E minor. A7 with the F and the E. I added an extra beat in there. Let me do that again for you. C. E minor. A7. Okay. D minor 7. Just playing the arpeggio. G. C chord, D minor, G, and I'm making a G suspended. So I'm adding the C note back here. Okay, now again, I'm going to play it. I never play anything the same way twice. I'll try to do as close as I can. I'm starting to stylize the song. D minor 7 G, G suspended, back to the G, and back to the C chord. Okay, now there's a lot of things I can do with this. So I can start it out here. And I can put my E minor up here on the 7th fret. Now to me, there's 3 notes that I'm looking for. I love this C note, the root for the C chord. I love this low F note with the F6 chord. And if I go up here to the 7th fret and I play a root 5, D minor, E minor, 7th chord, I got this low bass note here. So I have this note. That's kind of what I'm looking for, how the bass notes are working. So. A7. I think they might call that an A7 flat 9. The flat 9 when you're really focusing on that B flat note in there. Okay, D minor 7, root 5. The reason I'm doing that is I'm going to go down to a G chord. How do I get there? G7 to C. And then for the turnaround, instead of playing the D minor 7 here, I play it up here, walk it down to the G. So here you go. Interchangeable chords. E minor 7 to the A7, D minor, G7. Now, let me do it one more time. I'm going to try to angle the camera here a little bit. Sorry about the hand there. So you can maybe see a little more of the right hand. So here it is. Sure it is. To a G chord. 2, 5. Different variations. I can play it there. I just like the tension of this. have fun with it. I look for different variations of those chords and different placements of those chords. And I look for bass notes. What would the bass guitar sound like, So. I think, do I like that or do I want to play it? Take it high and then take it low again. So you experiment, you play games with those things, and you use your ear. Where does it lead you? And when you play these different bass lines and you play these different melody lines, those things lead you to different versions of the next chord. So I even do this, right? So what I'm playing there, don't ask me the name of the chord, I don't know. Da da da, E minor 7, whatever this guy is. I can take it down the same finger, down a half step there. I'll look that up and tell you the name someday. D minor 7, D minor 9, G 13 maybe, G A B C D, and then G A B C D E, G A B C D 13, C. Higher math, not my strong suit. From a C chord, a G chord with an F bass, an E minor, an A7, a D minor, a G, and a C. Tons of music out of a couple of chords. Now, is this easy to do? No, it's not easy to do. But is it doable? Yeah, absolutely. You learn the melody. You put the chords around it. finding a note, play the notes around it that meet the need of the melody, look for the bass notes, and you just have fun with it. You can't break anything, you just keep playing, and you stumble, and you find little ditties that work, and you make note of the ones that don't work, and you try to avoid them. And if you play a note that doesn't work, maybe there's a way you can slide to the next note, up or down from it, and all of a sudden that note that didn't work becomes a passing tone, and it becomes part of the song. So this turned into a long video. Let me know your comments and any suggestions other than can you make PDFs and links, because I just turn the camera on, I say, hey, let's learn a song, and here we go. So, and I'm probably not going to change that. So steal what you can, share it with anybody else, share it with anybody that wants to learn from you, and that's what keeps us all having fun. Thanks everybody for listening. Good night.